I have decided, which is why I have this little thing, to write a poem for every element in the periodic table, and all the colored ones are all the ones I've done, which means I'm really getting closer to the end of this. But I usually introduce...
Then they'll discover a new one.
Well, you know, and some of them at like 1, 11, 12, 13, 15, 17, and 118, they have found 1 or 2 atoms. They haven't come up with an actual name for it yet, so they'd be like unanilium, which is 110, which I just wrote something for. But so, I mean, I'm doing those, and they don't even have enough stuff to be able to talk about them. So I'm trying. But I have to do cerium, and should I leave the veil on or off?
Well,
what do you
it's
think?
bewitching either way.
I have no idea. This
It really is kind of bewitching, yeah.
This is, what number is this?
Or endearing even.
Endearing, because you don't have to see my face. This is number 96 in the periodic table. CM, this is curium. Searching through storage for my wedding clothes, I ignored my white wedding dress and reached for the wedding veil. It might not be true to my Halloween costume, but I had to wear something to show that my black long-sleeve dress was actually a wedding dress. I'll carry a small bunch of white flowers to make what otherwise seems like a goth wedding look complete, but still I'll have to explain that my Halloween costume is my interpretation of Marie Curie on her wedding day. I mean, I had to wear this for my Halloween costume. I mean, I'm writing poetry for every element in the periodic table, and I know that Marie Curie discovered a few of these elements herself, and one of them is even named after her. And maybe it wasn't goth, but a diligent work ethic that caused Marie Curie on her own wedding day to wear a black dress so that she could wear that same black dress later for her work. And yeah, when she worked, she was getting all messy with radioactive elements, ergo the black dress, I suppose. But when she studied the radioactivity of some elements, seeming higher at times, she deduced that there must be something else causing the radiation. And there was. She even coined the term radioactivity while she discovered the 2 radioactive elements, radium and polonium. But looking back on her life, maybe wearing the black dress was appropriate because she soared in all of her schooling that she could legally take, because at the time she couldn't enroll in higher education because she was female. So she eventually had to go to underground learning for higher education in makeshift classrooms that lasted only a few days before the government raid would cause the schooling to have to move again. And then, well, she left Poland for Paris, and she was able then to go to school, but she was still penniless and hungry. But after her 2nd degree, she met her Pierre, which, by the way, is wearing a Darth Vader hat right now. She met her Pierre, who worked with her, and they even worked throughout and after their marriage. And actually, they gave each other bicycles as wedding presents. I know, I'm going on and on about Marie Curie for my Halloween costume, and there's even an element named after her, but she didn't discover that element, so does curium have any relationship to Marie Curie? Well, other than the fact that curium's radioactive, curium's actually one of the most radioactive elements, but curium is now used to help scientists learn and discover, much in the way that Marie Curie did. Curium helps people to help power artificial pacemakers, but it's even used in alpha particle X-ray spectrometers that are installed on lunar and Mars rovers like the Sojourner or the Spirit's Opportunity rovers. It's even used on a spacecraft to probe the surface of a comet. Because it's radioactive, curium is dangerous to us humans, even though it really does have a certain glow to it. Maybe it's nice to know that, like Marie Curie, we can use this element for research and to learn. Besides, being both a goth girl and loving to dive into my work, it really does make me take a shine to this black wedding dress idea.
Wow.
Did you guys want to hear that Ariel one? I'd have to find it.
Ariel, like the one from...
Yes, I have it here, and I have to unclip.
Not the one from Walt Disney.
No, not that
Different
one.
Ariel.
It's different. I wrote this poem the day that Ariel Castro.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Put that away. Killed himself in prison. And for those, do you all know who? Yeah, you know who that is from Ohio.
Yeah.
And I should keep this covered because, I guess.
Who think, well, never mind, read your poem.
Go and what?
Well, I'll wait till afterwards, because
Okay.
I don't know what your poem says, okay?
Okay, well, all right. But we all know what he did and why he was in prison and all that. So
He killed a little girl?
this is the man that
Oh,
held
kidnapped,
three
kidnapped.
women
Yeah,
in a house in Ohio for like 10 years.
Okay, yes.
And they actually were able to just get out, and I don't remember what town in Ohio it was.
Yeah.
But they're like,
Cleveland.
it was in
One
Cleveland.
is Cleveland, yeah, and then like what, 2 months later, another house in Cleveland, they found the same thing,
So,
same neighborhood.
but
Damn.
It's
But
kind of hard to
this-
believe that, like, somebody's out there reading the electric meter and they never hear anything.
And then, okay, so tell the rest. So then he was
he was in prison.
arrested,
He
and
was-
he was in prison.
And then he hung himself.
Or as some theories say, he was executed by prison guards.
We have absolutely no idea.
That we don't know.
Yes, we have absolutely no idea.
Not
So I
worried,
just,
not worried at all. Go
so
ahead.
yeah, so I just wrote this, and I just
This is
decided
guilty.
that I would write something from Ariel's perspective, I guess. And this is called Under Constant Supervision.
I guess.
I kept them trapped for so many years. I'd go to church. No one suspected. When they got out, they persecuted me. And now I sit here, square room, metal bars. I suppose now I'm the one that's trapped. The single light above glares down at me. If I get as far as I can from that one white light, my long shadow stretches toward infinity. That shadow of my life seems so long, but I can still see the end, as clear as today. I won't complain to them. They'll never know what it's like to be persecuted like this. They keep me in protective custody. They check on me every 30 minutes.
On city.
But I'm not on suicide watch. If I was, I'd be under constant supervision. I know they won't give me a rope. I'll have to be careful so they won't see that a bed sheet'll do, even if they give me only 30 minutes.
Whoa.
Hmm.
Wow.
I have no idea if somebody else did that too.
Is that how he died, hanging by a bed sheet?
I believe so. Because, you don't have, this is weird. 'cause
They
I
don't
can't
allow you
resist.
a rope.
I think, oh, but I'm gonna have to write something, I'm gonna read something happy. I like this one. And it's more physicsy, but it's not. It's called Us Actually Touching. I heard a physicist explain that when two solid objects are pressed together, they never actually touch. I can't imagine it, but maybe because electrons repel, all objects remain one molecule apart. I wonder if this is why, when I see you and when we embrace, I want to hold you tighter and tighter. Because I want to defy the laws of physics and feel that contact with you as long as I possibly can. Is this why, when we embrace, I want my face at your neck so that I inhale you deeply? I breathe you in because I want to experience you with all of my senses. I want our molecules to intermingle. I want us to actually touch.
Oh, nice. So what is it, the electromagnetic force that is really touching each other, or is it gravity itself?
The weak electromagnetic force.
Okay, I was just wanted to be clear on that.
I have some, oh, wow. All right, I'm gonna have to start churning through these. This one's just a novel one.
Grabbing a beer.
All right, well, this one's kind of a, the title doesn't matter, Human Construct of Time. Is this the best of times? Is this the worst of times? Or is this just one of those times?
Those times.
Only humans understand time. Where did all the time go? We ask. Time slips away as we search for ways to avoid looking old, to avoid death. If I ever saw God, I'd have to ask, how old are you? How much longer do you just sit there, observe? But time is a human construct, I have to remind myself as I sit and think at times like these.
That's nice.
The human construct of time. Oh, but I want to, you guys, all right, I do a couple of Twitter link poems, and this was probably 2 tweets, but
Okay.
I'll do the funny one first. Build your own cross. Why be a carpenter and build your own cross when Walmart can do it for you? Selling mass-produced 2-foot-tall wooden crosses with glued plastic flowers to hammer into dirt at roadsides for accident victims. Why be a carpenter? Why build your own cross when Walmart can do it for you? Is that spooky, scary, or whatever? You know, you have little, and this one is actually closer to Twitter, like called Painted Buddhas. Interesting one.
Painted Buddhas.
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 Who does?
You'll get it right.
I named my stomach Buddha, but go ahead.
That's how Thai you're thinking of.
When in Beijing, I saw a wooden wall with many rows of tiny, sculpted, painted Buddhas. Some Buddhas had their heads torn off. And I thought, and I have this picture of the tiny sculpted painted Buddhas, and like majority of them heads are just torn
Yeah,
off.
we want Buddha to suffer.
I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
What do they? All right, I
He
won't
needs
even
to
ask
suffer.
about. Yes. Well,
Life is suffering.
life is suffering.
Yeah, now he knows.
It's the first noble truth.
How dare you smile?
I think most of the other ones I have are depressing, although I have one that I think some of you, and I talk about God in this one, which is so not like me, but jumping from skyline to the
I
clouds.
heard him talking about you, so.
Oh, well then,
This was in Seinfeld where George says you don't hear enough about God anymore. I
well,
think it's kind of cool. That's what George said in Seinfeld. You don't hear much about God.
yeah, no.
You don't hear much.
Really don't. I mean, I hear about the Titans and.
So you don't go to
I'm sick of
You don't go
it.
to church, because if you went to church, you would hear about God.
Church.
So they tell me.
What is so they tell me?
Yeah.
Or maybe if you went to a Titans game, because there's more human energy all, combined and concentrated in one spot.
But
That might be closer.
I don't know, John might have gotten a kick out of this. Joining commuters driving toward the Chicago Loop, I watched majestic skyscrapers frame the skyline as I witnessed over Lake Michigan early morning clouds thin at the top. Each cloud looked like a snow-capped mountain framing this flatland city surrounding the skyscraper skyline with that sun-kissed stratosphere. The clouds almost looked like shadowed drawings touched by the hand of God.
I want some chirping birds in that. You want some chirping birds in that?
I saw that.
Dew
I was just
on
like,
watermelon
these are,
or
of course,
something.
they look like mountains, and it's just the clouds over the lake, and that was all it was.
Gothic one.
It must have been
In the
lovely.
total fucking tradition.
One becomes more favored. I like it.
I know the two of you heard something that I wrote just before that accident.
What accident?
I was,
2 years ago.
no, July 11th, 1998 was when it happened.
It's got some tight lines.
I was stopped in an intersection, of a car. I was gonna read another one, John.
Yeah, grab those.
But I
wanna
was
do
stopped
that
in an intersection
constantly.
and a car hit me
Anytime.
from behind, knocked me into oncoming traffic, another car hit me. I was
You're right.
unconscious
They're
for
so-
11
they're
days.
so tough.
Oh, my.
I relearned
Stay
how to walk and
right
talk
on
and
them
eat.
to read them, you know.
Do you know that I have a friend who can't relearn, he's not relearned how to walk.
You gotta keep
And when I was out there, I just
I'm
just
like
read it from
that
memory
because
for
I've never written,
Sierra
I'm slightly
and for the two of you
dyslexic.
that I wrote a poem about a car crash. I wrote it 3
this is
days before
intense.
that accident.
Fantastic.
I've heard this on the front porch.
And it wasn't about me being a car accident, it was about somebody else, and I was just left picking up the pieces after their
I've been
accident.
hit from behind, it's weird. You can't believe the impact.
Oh, well, apparently I can, although I don't remember that day. And people were just stunned, like, oh, and you want to drive again? I'm like, I don't remember the day. I was just like, I just like to drive, wanted to get out. But I did this one, and it is called Left with a Hole. You ever see TV shows or in the movies how some protagonist would fall into a coma? I don't know from what. A gunshot, a car crash. Well, every time they wake up from their comas, and they're under from like 4 weeks to 4 years, they come to, and they're mentally just fine. They talk in complete sentences, and they remember what happened to them right up until that catastrophe. But let me be the voice of experience. In the real world, that's not the way it goes. You don't remember what happened right before that coma began because you'll wake up confused because your long-term memory never got the chance to save your short-term memory from that fateful day. When you wake up, you'll have to train yourself how to walk and talk and eat again. You'll fall out of your hospital bed trying to leave. You'll want to kill the people who did this to you. You'll want to scream your story to the world. And they'll put you in a restraint at night. You know, for your own protection. You'll want to rip that food tube out of you. You will be afraid to put food into your mouth then. But look, you'll have to remind yourself, you've done this before. It's not hard. Everyone does it. Put some food on a fork. Put the fork in your mouth, remove fork, start chewing, and just swallow. I know it seems strange, but you can do this. You have to build your life again, piece by piece. I mean, you did this when you were an infant from scratch. You were a baby then, but you're an adult now. You can retrain yourself. People will ask you if you remember what happened to you that fateful day, and they'll think that it's just like the movies and everyone just snaps out of their coma good as new. You won't know how to tell them that you'll never be as good as new, and nothing you can say will make them understand that even though you woke up, those bastards who did this to you, they took so much that you can't even remember the seconds before your life was forever changed for the worse. You're left with a hole. They even took your memories of the last seconds of your life from you.
Wow.
Thank you. I haven't read that in a while, but, and I don't think, you guys don't want to hear other ones. I have, like, a few. You don't want to hear more, do you? Do you want a drink? Or do you want to?
drinking.
You can have a drink while you read some more.
Yay! All right, well, I apologize that these are like, it happens, I think, one time I was at a bar. This is a great thing about this one bar during the summertime. They have
I was
half-price
sitting at the
pitchers,
bar.
half-price pitchers on Mondays, and it's 5 miles away from our house, and it's on John's way home from work, so I'm like, I'm going to get my walking in, I'm going to walk there, and I'm going to have a pitcher of beer, and he'll meet me, and if he wants a drink, he'll have a pitcher with me, and we'll go home or whatever. So this is what I do in the summertime. I go
Put a
there.
turkey leg in your pocket.
Yeah.
Why would
She's a
I-
vegetarian.
Why would I do that?
Put some
You don't have
broccoli
to
in your
put some
pocket.
tofu in your pocket.
Well, I'm fine. I can function without eating for an hour and a half, and then I'd be at a restaurant and I could eat there if I wanted. But I wrote these 2 poems while I was there, and I don't know, I was depressed while I did this, but John was like, these are really good. These are really good. So this one is Each Half is the Enemy. And I have to say this because we listened to audio books while in the car, and one of the ones was the story of philosophy. And so I would hear stories of nuggets of things, and I'm like, I have to remember that because I'm going to have to use this. And so you might hear some weird references, and it's because I heard them in audio CDs, but here we go. Each half is the enemy. when the bulldog ant of Australia is cut in half, the halves see each other as enemies. The head attempts to devour the tail, and the tail, in an effort to defend itself, battles for up to 30 minutes to sting the head. And this battle happens everywhere in the world, because it's always that the two halves of the whole will religiously remain at odds. Being born at the cusp of Gemini, you have a twin, and the other half is a Cancer. And if you weren't born under that sign, trust me, look for it. This applies to you too. Because sometimes you want to tear it apart, that other half. You despise everything about it, everything that's somehow a part of you. It's everything you don't want to admit, because life will remain a battle as you continually struggle against everything you don't want to believe.
Oh, yes.
Each other's and we all have that. I mean, there's always something. All right, now we're going to do this. And this one has a really nice depressing ending. And now I'm going to have to read the periodic table poems just to cheer it up or something. I'm feeling bad. This is called Eyes Are Blurred to the Battlefield. On the Indonesian island Jawa, large turtle skeletons litter the plains. Because after they come in from the ocean to lay their eggs, swarms of wild dogs there all got together and pounced. Those wild dogs flip the turtles over and strip them all from their shells before they eat them alive. And if you go to the plains on Jawa, you'll see what looks like skeletal remains. And if your eyes are blurred, you'll swear you're seeing a battlefield. Because we cannot forget that life is a constant avoidance of death. Because many of those wild dogs who kill the turtles are prey to the tiger, who later pounces upon them. This is a cycle of life, because every birth is a prelude to death. Remember this. Don't forget. When people are young, they think they're invincible only because they beat the odds. But everyone gambles. We call it life. But you have to remember, the house always wins. Everybody thinks they're ahead, and they forget to cut their losses. Because most of the time, even if someone's lived a long life, are they still happy? Really? I know. Now I feel like, hey, it was for you! Yay! That's better. Yay! You know, all right, I'm good. Yeah, should I do the other periodic table ones? There are new ones that I wrote, and I'm like, I don't know if I should do them, but I should. I'm on something happy.
I don't know, it's crowd, people want,
What do you guys want?
Stu, you gonna
We're
do
really
some,
comfortable, this is like,
cakes or
this is
something?
really good entertainment.
I'll make them happier
this
for
is
the
good.
periodic table, and they're.
It's totally unique, so.
You're up for it? You might do
I'm
them
up for it
too,
anytime.
Would you please put your damn wig back on?
I want to go with the flow. I don't want
I'm going to do 2 happy periodic table ones, and I want to hear you.
Happy-
How about that?
happy
Well, because they'll sound
periodic.
better.
to. I mean,
Yeah,
no
well, they're ones I just
No
wrote.
rush.
Maybe we'll put David on after.
Yay.
Well, he's ready to go after that, so.
He says he's ready to do it sometime, you know.
So whatever makes people smile most.
All right, let me go to the bathroom real quick.
Should I wait on...
The bathroom break?
Should I
That's
wait
when
on...
you have the commercials.
Should I wait on Unan Trium? So,
Well, he's just purging.
he's just purging. Great. Sorry. This is
Are we
actually...
getting an image of this for posterity?
Um,
Darth Vader as a skeleton?
I think John's got the camera, you got it. Yes. Yeah, John got really tired of waiting for us.
away.
This is Unan Trium. This is actually 113 in the periodic table. And,
There's weed if you want some, Stu, by the way.
what? Say that again?
I was gonna say, if anybody wants a bong yet, I've got a little bit of weed.
Don't you
Fuck
I don't
that
go to
weed.
a doctor for like 4 months, so yay. I'm like, yay! I'm so pathetic.
I'd like some marijuana, Mr. McGuire.
Marijuana?
Marijuana.
Cannabis is what I call it.
Smoke in here now?
Dirty hippies.
Cartman. Cartman is with us tonight.
Should I read?
Read.
All right.
Please do.
Uno trio. I can never hold you, but when I step within those walls where I first found you, I can feel your presence across the room.
I had 4 beers.
A movement, a stir. I feel it. I can sense you as the seconds slip by, but after only 20 moments, I snap out of it. I know you're gone. I compare you to your friends, and your heaviness weighs me down. You, with your long shadow stretched across those walls, you'll only disappear again. An occasional glance, I'll take whatever I can take. Glimpses of your strength is all I can capture before you seem to dart away at what seems to be the speed of light. You're a stranger. You stay tightly wound in your world. But I want to crack your dense shell. I want to know you. I've sensed you. And for some reason, I feel I know you all too well. I know it's...
I can snap my fingers like the Disney used to do.
I mean, like, I can't really snap
My
them.
fingers are too short. I'm deformed.
What did you think?
They do that again now, you know. They do that at
You're talking
Pete
about
Mondays
St.
in
Louis.
East
Burroughs,
Nashville.
William Burroughs.
Clapping is
family,
considered to be
Yeah.
very
Big Addy
uncool.
Machine
Yeah,
Company.
Gosh.
yeah,
Fortune and.
unhipster-like.
Yes, let's all avoid being ungood.
This is my last one that I'm going to do. This is California. This is number 98 in the periodic table. CF, California. They tell me that I am settling. They tell me this is not love. I keep telling myself there's nothing natural about you. But when I try to take you in, it seems you work your way deep into my bones, and I just can't get rid of you. It's like I just can't get the idea of you out of my head. But you try to tear me apart if you ever actually stay with me. So when it comes to you, I seem to be the woman who loves pain. Because I know you'll do the same things, act the same way. I've gotten used to it. I look for you, and whenever I find you, everything tarnishes when we're together. But I don't know any better. I just don't know how to stay away. They keep telling me that this is not love. But I've never felt love. And although I am hurting with you, it's better than hurting alone. And you always leave before I get the chance to feel attached, you think. So you turn away and you believe you leave scot-free. So, okay. If this is what you do, then don't worry. Despite what you do, despite how you always seem to react so much when you're with me, I'll still go across the country for you. I don't know how many times. I see your lights. I see your glow. Because you still intrigue me so. I can't help it. I don't know any better. I must love this pain. I keep coming back for more. A serious car accident, but I had just traveled around the country by car with a friend, Eugene, who's my roommate, and I had written this poem 3 days before the car accident. And it was not about me in it, but I had told you guys that while I was unconscious, my sister had a little notebook, journal book, and everybody, if you come by, write something down. And the first page had a thing from Eugene that said, you just wrote a poem about a fantastic car crash, and this was supposed to be me. Which is really weird, because I had just written this thing and it has nothing to do with the accident, but it's just a really weird parallel. So this is Fantastic Car Crash.
With accompaniment.
And our life is one big road trip now. And we set the cruise control and we make our way down the expressway.
Thanks, brother.
And most of the time we're just moving in a straight line and the scenery blurs and there's nothing to see. But I know what is inside of you and I know what you're made of. There's no such thing as a calm with you. You are a fantastic car crash. You stop traffic in both directions while the gapers gawk and the delay grows while everyone slows down to stare. Everything shatters with you, It's a spectacular explosion. I try to duck and cover as metal flies through the air. And every time you leave the scene of the accident, I am left picking up the pieces. There are a bunch of little pieces of glass, and I'm left picking up those pieces of glass. The glass breaks into such tiny little pieces. They look like ice. It takes so long to pick up the pieces, and even though I'm careful, I'm still picking up the pieces, and I'm still on my knees, and the blood, the glass cuts into my hands, and the blood is dripping down into the street. Think of it as my contribution to this fantastic car crash that is you. That is me, that is us, as I pull the glass from my hands and wave my hand to the line of traffic. Go on, keep driving. This happens all the time. There's nothing to see here.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, and that just
And then
yeah.
3 days later.
And I'm
you're
hoping,
like,
John, if you wanted to play,
wow.
what's he going to do? Because you had asked C-Rod if he'd bring a guitar, and you've got to figure out to get you in here because you're awesome.
You just step over there to your right.
Where am I?
Foot.
My
Step
left?
to your right, Your right.
All right.
He
What am I
came
doing?
as a white belt Darth Vader.
He was,
Darth Vader. I was like father, like son.
because
Darth
he
Vader
looked
and
like
Luke Skywalker.
which was the point, but he just hasn't worked the mask. But
I don't know
this,
if that'll show up in the camera, but whatever. I don't need to be in the
I don't know. Can you see the camera? I don't know what's going on. Show me. That's his own one, but.
Yeah, you're good.
You guys are awesome. This is a song that I wrote with the band Mom's Favorite Vase. This is for Warren. He's awesome at it. This is what we need in life. I don't know where this road is taking me anymore, and I don't know the right lines to say. I don't feel the things that you're feeling down deep inside of you, but I know this ain't the way. Because nothing ventured, nothing gained, nothing changes, nothing stays the same. So you go your way and I go mine. Maybe one day we will find what we need in life. What we need in life. Watch the ashes from your cigarette fall to the ground, and I think think this fire will die down. I think I now see what is happening here between us, and I have to say goodbye. Because nothing ventured, nothing gained, nothing changes, nothing stays the same. So you go your way and I go mine. Maybe one day we will find what we need in life. What we need in life. I can't stay bitter and lonely and restless anymore, and I can't stay here with you. I see the red in your eyes and it scares me half to death, and I'll take this road alone. Because nothing ventured, nothing gained, nothing changes, nothing stays the same. So you go your way and I go mine. Maybe one day we will find what we need in life. What we need in life.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Thank you. Well, it's because he's awesome. Did you start doing the original song? I know they might have heard,
She sure did.
what's the name of the piece?
I can't remember.
Don't you ever sit down, Stuart.
No.
Is it like an affliction or is
And he's
it
old,
an
he's only 100 pounds, he doesn't need to sit down.
It's an affliction.
Are there pills?
No, frankly.
Or surgeries.
So I'm at my bar, my favorite hangout. I just overheard from people talking that another guy who's always here in the past few months has had a few strokes. Now this is just grapevine, I just heard snippets, but I need to see him put in my 2 cents. He went out for a smoke, even though I don't. I walked up to him after he lit up. I reached my hand out toward his cigarette. He offered me a new one. I reached my hand out toward his cigarette. He offered me a new one, but I wanted his. Then holding his smoke, I told him that I heard. I spoke of his wife, asked about his kids. And I don't really wanna get on a high horse here, but we care for him, we want him happy. He said I was right and he'll take some time off. Then holding his smoke, he said that he should quit. He handed me his smoke and then walked away. I had reached my hand out toward his cigarettes. He offered me a new one. I had reached my hand out toward his cigarette. He offered me a new one, but I wanted his. I stood there a while, sucking nicotine, wondering if I made any difference. My hand out toward his cigarette. He offered me a new one. I reached my hand out toward his cigarette. He offered me a new one, but I wanted his.
Sweet.
Wow, that's awesome.
Okay, we were talking about the difference between a diva and a lady wrestler last night.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't like WWE because all their female wrestlers are called divas. No, you're a diva. They're lady wrestlers.
Did you write that too?
That's actually that is a poem that I wrote. I said I'm gonna write a poem that I actually have line breaks, and I'll just put it to some song, and I'll just pick some
Sometimes that
melody.
works.
And he had this original song that we never did anything to, and I was just like, all right, I'll change the things and make a chorus out of it.
Yeah, I think that works
Made
better
a
as a
difference.
song than it would as a poem. Yeah,
Oh, I meant to have it that way. Yeah.
That was wonderful.
So I'm at my bar, my favorite hangout. I just overheard from people talking that another guy who's always here in the past few months has had a few strokes. And now this is great, right? Yeah, I mean, but you know, it could be done that way. But I'm like, just make a point to 5-syllable and break it up. It's not rhyming.
All right.
But
It's a
it was
story.
just a great line right at the beginning.
saw
It gets
that.
your attention.
And a few strokes, and you're like, ah! Like, now this is a great fight.
Instead of
Party
smokes.
phrase on
Strokes
Twitter
instead of
Tuesday.
Strokes, yep, had a few
And
strokes.
then
Yep.
instead of giving me a selection
Yep.
of,
So-
you know, turkey
And
and
he
roast
was
beef
doing better,
ham
and he's all right now. And
peppers
took
and
time off.
cream
Yeah.
Not that
cheese.
anybody
They
wanted
give
to
me
know,
all
but he's
ham.
okay. And he
I'm
was
looking at it,
back at
I
the
go,
bar, but I
this
haven't
is
seen him around
$22.
lately.
Right, you can really
This
say.
thing is 12.